Okay, well, welcome back for another Live Life Well virtual cooking class. My name is Kate Watts. I'm a registered dietitian with the Live Life Well Employee Wellbeing Team. It is February, and as you can see, I am Team Snow. We are expecting some snow in my area in North Carolina. So I am rooting for the snow to come on through. Others may have different opinions, I know. But we are also in February, other than battling ice and snow occasionally in our area. We are celebrating Heart Health Awareness Month. And so we're going to be doing some heart healthy recipes today and going over a little bit of the basics for cooking for a healthy heart. So whether you have history of heart disease or family history, or you are watching your blood pressure or your cholesterol, or you just want to keep your heart healthy, these are a couple recipes that are really super easy, great go-to recipes to include in your meal planning or in your weekly routine. So we're going to start off by getting our salmon dish going and in the oven. So we're making a honey mustard pecan crusted salmon. Now I am recording this today, so I'll be sending out the recording with the recipes to everyone that registered. And if you're watching this on the Live Life Well YouTube channel, where all of our recorded classes go, you can find the recipes down in the description box. So this honey mustard pecan crusted salmon is one of my favorites. So I've got my salmon fillets here. I went for a wild caught skin on boneless salmon fillet. And so we're going to start just by putting a little bit of a marinade and a crumb topping. I'm going to cut up our fresh parsley to start. So I've washed this and we just need a fourth a cup. So you can pull it off of the stems like so. Or you can just cut out the leafy part, get rid of the long stem, and dice up whatever stem gets left in your bunch because it is edible. I don't love the texture. I like to just go for the leaves, so I'm going to spend a little extra time pulling off the leaves of the parsley plant. And then we'll just give it a quick little dice. And that's going to actually go in our crumb topping, which is really simple. It's just panko breadcrumbs, or any kind of whole wheat breadcrumbs would be great for this as well. And then chopped up pecans and a little bit of pepper. So that's going to go in our crumb topping. Whole grains are a great option for heart health. So anytime you can choose a whole wheat bread, cracker, a whole wheat pasta, a brown rice, or a quinoa, instead of the refined versions, like white rice and white bread, for example, those whole grains have a ton of benefit for cardiovascular health because it has our soluble fiber in there, okay? And then our pecans are full of fiber as well, and also heart healthy fats, which we're going to see in the oil that we use, as well as in the fatty fish that we're using. So a few components for a heart healthy dish are going to be using heart healthy fats and watching how much of those we're doing, limiting the unhealthy fats, which are our saturated fats, normally from animal products, normally in solid fats. And so doing leaner types of meats, smaller portions of meat, incorporating more seafood a couple times a week, having some meatless or vegetarian or plant forward meals sprinkled in. All of those are great ways to limit that saturated fat, which is harmful to our heart. Okay, these fresh herbs that I'm chopping up right now, this parsley, is going to add tons of flavor so that we don't have to rely so much on salt or sodium. And so, again, another component of a heart healthy recipe is low sodium, unsalted products, no salt added products if you're using canned. When you're looking at condiments, looking for low sodium, reduced sodium options. If you're cutting up fresh herbs, you're already smelling that aroma, that amazing fresh flavor that's going to go into your recipe. So we are not sacrificing on flavor when we are cooking for our heart health. So I'm just giving this a nice little chop, and we're going to use a fourth a cup of our fresh parsley. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and kind of get this ready, and then we'll assemble our patties. So we're going to add to our mixing bowl a 1/2 cup of the panko breadcrumbs, and then a 1/2 cup of our chopped pecans. We're going to add 1/4 cup of this parsley that we cut up. All right. And let's see, add a little bit of cracked pepper. And then let's just clear our space here so I can cut up some other items in a moment. All right. So let's get our salmon here. And so we've got our mixture. We're going to mix it together. And then in a moment, we're going to add oil to this and mix that up as well. But first, we're going to take a tablespoon of honey and 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And we're going to mix that together and brush it over our salmon. So let's mix that together. Okay. And then we're going to take a basting brush, or you can just use a spoon if you don't have one of these. I love this little utensil. It's so great for marinades and getting things evenly coated. So I'm just putting the honey and Dijon mustard over our salmon fillets. I have these skin side down on a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil. And I did spray it with a little bit of cooking spray. And I'm going to use up all this sauce. So I went over them kind of evenly, and then I'm coming back and dousing it with the rest. Okay, put that aside. So now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to our crumb topping mixture and stir that to combine. This is just going to help the toppings stay together a little bit better and stick to the fish a little bit better, add a little bit of flavor. And again, oils would be the preference for heart-healthy cooking. Today we're using extra virgin olive oil. Avocado oil is a great choice. Grapeseed oil is a great choice. Very mild in flavor. Canola oil. And if you're cutting calories, if you're watching your calories, then you just want to be very careful of your portion of oil. And so you could, if you needed to, reduce this down to only 1 tablespoon of oil for the recipe if you're wanting to watch your calories from fat. Because while it is heart-healthy fat, it is still a fat, it's still high in calories. So let's put our topping on to our fillets. So I'm just going to spoon it over, and then I'm going to press it really well just to help it, again, stick to our salmon. And then I've preheated my oven to 425 degrees, and it's just going to bake for 10 to 12 minutes. And that's going to allow our panko breadcrumb topping to get nice and browned and crispy. And it's going to allow our fish to be cooked and nice and flaky. Okay. So here's our fillets. I'm going to pop them in the oven and set a timer. So we'll check those in about 10 minutes. The recipe says 10 to 12 minutes until the top is golden brown and the fish is flaky. Okay, let's move on to our second recipe. So we've gone over a little bit about heart-healthy fats, types of fats to choose, choosing low sodium foods, getting flavor with herbs and oils. Another great way to infuse flavor without needing salt is with citrus, fresh citrus. So we're going to use a zest and juice of this lime in the next recipe. Also, acidity from either citrus fruits or from things like vinegar are great ways to infuse your meals with flavor when you're cutting back on salt. The next thing we really want to work on is adding in more fiber. So more plant foods. Fiber is in all of your fruits and vegetables. It's in all of your whole grains, your nuts, your seeds, your beans. Beans are one of the highest fiber foods. They're a great choice for heart-healthy cooking. So having beans a couple times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. This recipe is going to give us a big punch of fiber, and it is our carrot and pineapple salad. And it's super easy to assemble, and we're just going to throw it all together. It's really flavorful. It's light. It's fresh. It's going to be a great side to our fish. And so we're going to start by cutting up some fresh mint. So again, if you don't have fresh, you can certainly use a dried like parsley for our salmon, or a convenience, pre-chopped parsley. That's totally fine. But these fresh herbs, fresh cut, are going to give you the biggest burst of flavor. Fresh mint, I love the way mint smells, and it's super easy to grow yourself too. If you like having a little container garden or a little herb garden, mint is, you really can't kill it. In fact, it will take over if you're not careful. So I like to keep it in a container for that reason, or it'll take over the yard. So we're going to get rid of these larger stems once again, and I'm going to pull off some of these larger mint leaves, and we're just going to give it a good dice, and you're going to immediately smell a little preview of what that dish is going to taste like. Oh, I love fresh mint. Okay. So we're going to start by cutting this up, and then everything else we're just going to mix together in a bowl. Well, we are going to cut our fresh pineapple as well. So we're going to get tons of nutrition from all the different colorful foods. We're going to get a good dose of fiber from all these plant foods, and we're getting flavor without adding salt. All right, so let's just chop up our mint. Now, this recipe really does better if you allow it time to chill in the fridge after you make it, so that all the juices and flavors can kind of marry together. So the product you'll see today is going to be a little bit more solid, whereas if you put it in your fridge, it's really going to be even better the next day, and it's going to kind of not wilt, but it's going to shrink in size as those fresh fibrous veggies soak up the juices, just like you would see in a coleslaw, for example. All right, so I've got my mint ready to go. Our ingredients are going to be some cabbage. You can use red cabbage or green cabbage. This is just the already shredded cabbage blend from the grocery store that comes in a bag. And then to that, we are going to add some additional shredded carrots. Again, I went for convenience. I got the already shredded kind. We're not going to use all of this. We'll use about half of it. All right, and then we're going to add in our mint, and so it calls for just a small bunch of mint. I think this is going to be about a perfect amount. It's about 2 tablespoons. So we'll go ahead and add that in here. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. Now we're going to get that zest from the limes into our bowl. I'm going to give these a quick wash. And I'm using a zester. You can also use a microplane. If you don't have either one of those, you could just use a grater, like a cheese grater, and just use the smallest size that you have. I'm going to roll my limes a little bit to loosen up the insides. And so when we go to squeeze the juice out, it's going to be a little bit easier to get all that juice. So I'm just going to zest right into the bowl. And so we're going to zest a good amount of that outer peel Again, this is gonna smell amazing. Wish y'all were right here with me, you could smell how good. If you don't have a lime, you could always use a lemon. And if you have the convenience already like squeezed lemon juice or lime juice in your fridge, you can use that. But I really recommend going fresh for this recipe so that you're not skipping on the zest, because I think it really adds a lot to it. We actually didn't use lemon juice in our salmon recipe, which, lemons or limes with fish are a great addition, great pairing. Probably good for that one. That's the second one. And so if you did have some extra lemons or limes, you could put some wedges on the side of the plate, be a nice little garnish. We might do that if I have time. We'll plate it up nice and pretty. So the fiber that we're wanting to get is very beneficial to our heart because it is going to help lower our cholesterol, or control our cholesterol. It does a lot of things for our health, but specifically for heart health, that cholesterol lowering impact is the most beneficial. And the fiber in our plant foods is in the roughage, right? It's in the peel, it's in the rind, it's in the skins, it's in the pulp. So if you like the skin of your sweet potato, if you like to eat the skin of your cucumbers, any of the peels, the seeds, the pulps, you're getting extra boost of fiber. So even something like a quick zest of a fruit, we're getting more fiber into this dish. Okay, that looks good. Let's cut these limes and get them juiced. Lime juicer here. This dish comes together super quick. You can use fresh salmon or frozen and just put it in the fridge the night before to thaw overnight. Let's give this a nice little mix together. And then we're going to add in our fruits. Actually, let's go and do a little bit of pepper, fresh ground pepper. And then we're going to add in some blueberries. I've already washed these. That's going to add a nice pop of color. And we got to get our pineapple cut up. So this is going to also be great. Get those juices going. So for cutting a pineapple, I just cut off the top and cut off the bottom. And then we're going to get rid of the outer layer. Of course, this kind of skin of a fruit is not edible. But when they are edible, go for it. Okay. Get that out of the way. Then we're going to just dice around the core here. Now we can take our longer strips and cut them into smaller pieces. And you can go as small and fine as you like, or larger, more rustic chop. I am still working on my knife skills, so, we just do the best we can. And again, if you want to go for convenience, you could get frozen and thaw it out for this recipe. You could spend a little extra money and get the already cut kind out of the produce section. But it's cheaper to do it yourself. Gotta put in a little extra work. All right, let's clear this out of the way. And there is our carrot and pineapple salad. Once we get everything mixed together, it's going to be crunchy, flavorful, fresh, light, full of fiber, full of nutrition, really eating the rainbow here. This would be great on top of tacos, fish tacos. And it's great as a side item. I've eaten it for breakfast, believe it or not. All right, I'm making a big old mess here. Okay, so there's our salad all mixed up. We'll put that on the plate and let's check our salmon. Just gonna clean our space a bit here. There we go. Make sure I got everything. Yep. I leave things out sometimes if I don't double check my recipe. So let's get a nice serving of our salad on here. Let's check our salmon. All right, so we've got our salmon fillets out of the oven. Looking at these, I'd probably give them another 2 to 5 minutes, which we do have a little bit of time, but since our recipe's done, we're going to go with it. Go ahead and plate it up. There you go. All right, so we've got our carrot and pineapple salad, our honey mustard pecan crusted salmon. Let's give this a taste here. I think y'all are really going to like this. It is so good. Oh, man. I love that pecan crust topping. It is a game changer. Y'all got to try this one. Thank y'all for joining me. Again, you can find this class on the Live Life Well YouTube page. Check out our old cooking classes. Leave me a comment there. I'll get these recipes sent over. And if you have any questions, let me know. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there in the snow. Bye.